First at 5, we want to get you outside and give you a look at this. It's nice looking, not so nice feeling. And as we head into another weekend, we're talking about 100-degree temperatures again. And that's what, Kim, the fourth weekend in a row?
Yeah, and Chris Bianchi, it's like there's 31 days in July, and we have hit that number 90 a lot.
Yes, exactly right, Kim. Good knowledge. We've hit now 90 degrees 28 times out of the 31 days this month. That makes it the most 90-degree days in a single month on record. And this is going to end up as our second hottest month, any month of the year on record for us in Denver, only about 0.2 of a degree behind July of 2012. So I'm sure you probably didn't need a nerd in a suit to verify for you that it's been really hot, but I'll be the nerd in a suit who tells you, you are right. It has been super hot in the Denver area. I will say, if you're watching me from the mountains, those numbers not quite as dramatic because of the amount of monsoon moisture we've had. We've had fairly consistent monsoon rains second, third, and fourth weeks of July. Let's take a look, though. We do have some thunder showers that are moving into the Evergreen, Conifer, Bailey area. It's taken a little time for us to kind of get Mother Nature waking on up here, but we are starting to see Mother Nature crank up some thunder showers here in the foothills. Just a heads up, that's roughly where Red Rocks is. I'm pointing it. It's not the exact spot, but right there is Red Rocks. So if you're heading out there and you notice some of those thunder showers, might be a good time if you know somebody who's there. Just give them a call or shoot them a text. Say, hey, get inside the car just for a few minutes. Wait this out. Just got some claps of thunder that are moving through the metro area. Probably some small hail within that storm in Evergreen and down through Conifer as well. Further north, we got a few thunder showers also out by Estes Park. These are trying to survive the trip down to Loveland, Longmont, and Erie. And then further south, we got a fair bit of activity here, including a new flash flood warning for the Aspen Acres burn scar. That goes till 7:45. And we'll keep some of these thunder showers around for the next hour or two, and then we'll clear things up later on this evening. And then we're going to really spike those temperatures this weekend. I'll tell you about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Speaking of burn scars in Ouray County, Highway 550 is back open between Silverton and Ouray. Mudslides forced CDOT to close several miles of that highway on Wednesday. It remained closed until about noon today. In Custer and Pueblo counties, there is concern that any rain this weekend could trigger flooding and mudslides in the Aspen Acres burn scar area. At least 11 homes in the burn area have been damaged by floodwaters this week. Firefighters are still trying to contain that fire as well. It is the seventh largest in state history, burning an area larger than the city of Denver. As of tonight, it is 67% contained.
Deontay Wilkins, the man running the Ultra Lounge East at the time of that deadly shooting earlier this month, will now face a summons from Denver police. Today, officers told us he will be cited for failing to have a proper license. Our reporting found Wilkins took over the operations of the club from the prior owner, but he never registered with the city. A spokesperson said today, quote, "It's fairly easy to get the proper license unless you can't pass a background check." 2 teens are in the hospital after a crash along Highway 7 in the Thornton area this morning. Denver police say it started about 5 a.m. They received a call about a carjacking or kidnapping with someone still inside the car. Look at this mess. Police chased the car along I-25 until the driver lost control on Highway 7 and Washington Street. Police say the suspect is a 17-year-old boy and the victim, a 17-year-old girl. No one has been identified. Police have not yet said if anyone will face charges. Both teens are still in the hospital tonight.
This morning, firefighters escorted a hero pilot across the state. Nathan Matthews and his family traveled from Denver to Grand Junction. The 43-year-old firefighter from Nebraska was injured in what became the Snyder Fire in Mesa County. He died from his injuries weeks later. The family that fire actually killed Emily Parker, Nick Hutcherson, and Sydney Watson as well. The 4 were assigned to the U.S. Forest Service Rifle Heli-TAC crews. Today, people gathered along that procession route to show their appreciation.
I spent more than 20 years as a wildland firefighter, traveling around the country on incident management teams. I've been present when firefighters have lost their lives before, and I just want to honor any firefighter who goes out there and risks their lives to save their communities and to save our forests.
Matthews is now the 5th person killed battling Colorado wildfires this year. A public memorial service for him will be held at 10 tomorrow in the morning in Grand Junction. It'll also be live streamed on YouTube. Today, the Justice Department dropped its case against Davy Hearn, the Olympic rower accused of vandalizing the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool.
In a filing, attorneys said, quote, damage to the reflecting pool was the result of flawed installation. They said they would not be able to prove vandalism caused, quote, any of the damage to the reflecting pool.
You'll remember the president bragged for months about restoring that pool, but after work was finished in June, pieces of the pool's bottom started to break off and float to the surface. Restoration work is again underway.
That news comes as the president meets with his cabinet at Camp David. This is video from that. He discussed the proposed anti-weaponization fund meant to provide almost $2 billion for people he says were targeted by the Biden and Obama administrations. That would likely include people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. The White House floated the proposal earlier this year, then seemed to abandon it after serious backlash, even from members of his own party. President Trump was asked about that fund today.
Acting Attorney General, that the anti-weaponization fund is dead, and why not just put that in writing?
It is dead, but you know, I wish it weren't, to be honest with you. I think people were horribly treated, horribly abused. This has nothing to do with Todd, this was me. Horribly abused, and I'd like to see them compensated for the pain.
A handful of outgoing Republican senators say they won't confirm Blanche as Attorney General until they receive written confirmation that the anti-weaponization fund is dead. The president says he may wait to have Blanche confirmed until those senators leave office.
Security companies want you to believe this technology is the future. Imagine the dummy is an active shooter. Drones with flashing lights swarm the dummy, distracting it, and then one drone flies in at a high speed, smacking the dummy in the chest, knocking it over. That video is part of a promotional material for Campus Guardian Angel, a school security company now bringing its drones to a K-8 school in Douglas County. 9
News reporter Rhea Job spoke to the school's headmaster today about why. Rhea.
Yeah, so this is a school that hasn't even opened yet. They're also a private charter school, so not in the Douglas County School District. So they kind of get a clean slate to implement things like this. And according to the headmaster, they have the money to do it.
We have our big ribbon cutting ceremony that's happening tomorrow.
John Adams Academy is getting ready to welcome their first students ever in August.
I was going to say, big day.
Big day, yes.
Sarah Keysweater has the title of headmaster. It's private school charter language for principal.
How safe do we want our school to be? We want to be the safest school in Colorado.
Sarah says that means using every tool they can, including these guys.
We're the first school in Colorado that is looking into this technology in our school.
The first and only school in Colorado set to install these pepper spraying attack drones. They're from a company called Campus Guardian Angel. They're flown remotely from a control room in Texas and are supposed to be used during an active threat. Along with that smooth break-through-the-window entrance, the company says they can also throw pepper balls at an attacker or directly hit them.
When seconds matter, when milliseconds matter, we have technology on site that can help to move to a perpetrator faster than even a human can sometimes.
The company says these drones for school safety were inspired by the front lines of the war in Ukraine.
My first thought was battlefield technology in K-12 environments. What can go wrong with that?
John McDonald is the former Jeffco School's head of security and now works with schools after shootings. He wonders how this fits into the response that's already in place.
This will change our tactical operations of how we respond from a law enforcement or school safety perspective. So I would test it and test it and test it.
He says safety should start before it reaches the hallway.
There's a lot of stuff that you can do to prevent school violence. It costs absolutely no money.
The school says the drone system will cost about $200,000 over 4 years and will be privately funded. Sarah says the drones, however, are only part of the plan.
Everything ranging from our crisis response protocols. Again, we do have armed staff. We're working for an SRO. We will use every tool in our toolbox to keep the kids in our school safe.
So the company says the drones can be triggered in several ways, including a mobile app, 911, panic button, or gun detection technology. Douglas County Sheriff's Office admitted the technology is new for them, and they did have one initial meeting with Campus Guardian Angel so far, and they have more planned to make sure their deputies are prepared for this. Rhea Jha, 9 News.
Well, Rhea, I think anybody who sees that video for the first time, as I just did, is pretty stunned by it, what they're capable of doing. But also you think about how many of these school shootings that we've covered and people put themselves really in harm's way to stop the threat. This seems like an easier option. Is that what they're telling you?
I think it's also a question of whether prevention should be more of the emphasis rather than kind of more on the back end. So I think that's what John McDonald, that former Jeffco head of schools, talked about is, maybe spending more money in the front end before it gets to that point in the hallway.
All right, Rhea, thank you.